you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick Podcast, your #1 sports destination.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
all in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick Podcast, your #1 sports destination.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. The Eye Test with Pierre, McGuire, and Jimmy Murphy.
The Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche. And after 22 years, Raymond Moore
The sickest NHL podcast. It's gonna be sick.
And welcome to the Eye Test here on the Sick Podcast Network, our penultimate show here, I think, before we take a little break and then go to one show a week. But the free agent frenzy, trade frenzy, draft frenzy, it's all going on now, Pierre. Crazy weekend. Lots going on today to talk about. Where would you like to start, my friend?
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm great. My favorite time of year. I love it.
I think we have a show tomorrow, don't we?
We do. We
And then
do.
we have a show, and then it's a break till next Wednesday.
Correct. Does that work for you?
No, don't we have Wednesday too this week?
We could do Wednesday if you like.
I thought we were doing
I'm
Wednesday
game to go the
too.
rest of the week if you'd like, Pierre. You tell me.
No.
All right. Let's do
I
Wednesday.
think
and then we'll call it
Wednesday.
a day.
So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. Then we go next Wednesday. Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's good.
That sounds good.
What would I like to begin with? Well, the Islanders are spending a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
They're not afraid to spend money.
Yep.
Would you have paid Romanov for that many years?
Years, no, I would not. I
Me
would not.
neither.
But we seem to see a lot of players that is becoming very important to them, as we were just discussing off the air, more so obviously for older players. But I would not have given him those years yet, Pierre. I think he's a great young player. Has his play dictated that yet? I don't know. That's the only question I have there.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of years. I'm not
Mhm.
sure about that. I mean, he's a good player. He's useful. He's useful.
Yeah.
I just worry about the years on that. I'm more excited towards, the players in a lot of this stuff, because I do think management's kind of been hard for a while. But in this case, I think the player made out well. I think the
I do
player
too.
made out really well. So Aaron Ekblad staying in Florida, huh, Jimmy?
He is staying in Florida.
Was that brought up anywhere besides
Yeah.
here?
I think we said that a long time ago, and nobody believed that the Florida Panthers could pull it off. Now, of course, they have not signed Brad Marchand yet, but I can confirm there is an offer on the table right now for him. It still could be done. I'm not saying it will be, but it still could be done. They have a plan to make it happen, as we predicted they would. Bill
I
Zito's
think they're going to do what Islanders did with Romanov. Maybe a little less dollar,
Mhm.
more year, more term.
Yep. I'm told that
I would
Brad
be
wants
really
4 years.
surprised. I would be really surprised going this deep that he would leave.
Yeah.
I'd be
I-
surprised if he left Florida.
My hunch,
I would-
hunch, not my confirmation. My hunch is that he ends up staying in Florida, but we'll see. The one thing I'll say, Pierre, and I still don't think it will change anything, but I'm just telling people to be ready for it. If he does reach market tomorrow, Utah is set to make a major offer to him, and Utah is set to
They
make some
could, but if it goes that way, I think it goes to Toronto.
or Boston. I never thought I'd say that, Pierre, and I'll eat a lot of crow if it happens.
No, I'm gonna.
I'm
I know.
told
how
they're
plugged
right
you
back
are.
in it.
I know how plugged in you are. I know how hard you work there. I really know how hard you work the market. I'd be surprised. Does he want to not win?
Well, that's the thing, right? He has to know there. And here's the other thing too, Pierre, not getting too deep into the bushes here, but like you think about if he comes back there, it's just they're kind of moving on, right? From his
Well, he's not going back there to be the captain, is he?
He's not going to be the captain.
No. So
That's going to be awkward, is what I'm trying. That's where I was
what
going to go.
Yeah,
Is that
no,
going to be
we
awkward?
agree. There's so many awkward
Yeah.
things about this.
Yeah. It just
I
doesn't
don't
make
see
sense.
that being. I don't know.
My
I'd be
feel
surprised.
is that Boston, someone with Boston, leaked it out there just to say, look, we're willing to maybe get him back here as goodwill, PR, whatever you want to call it. But I think when I look at it right now, I think Florida's still the front runner, and then it's probably Toronto, like you said.
Yeah, that's probably true. But how about Toronto? Matthew Nyes? I thought he was getting offer sheets.
That's what I
Didn't
thought.
you, didn't you hear the offer sheets?
Yeah.
Matthew Nyes, they couldn't get him done. It was going to be offer sheets.
Yeah,
Can people stop with this nonsense?
I know. Because of his girlfriend, Pierre. Did you see that report? It was
I talked to you
done
about
deal.
that. When I was working out early this morning, I called
Done
Jimmy
deal.
up and I was like, Jimmy, the girlfriend deal, did that work out? I don't think so.
Hey, look, not that I didn't learn the hard way when I was a young reporter, Pierre, but wording is very important when you are putting a report out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is done until it's done. That's one thing I've learned working in pro sports, specifically in hockey.
Yeah. Well, all I know is Nye's going back to Toronto's major. Tavares
I
going
thought it was
back
good value too.
Yeah, so Tavares going back to Toronto, taking a haircut to show the value of the man that he is.
Yep.
He's an amazing man. He's going back. Nothing's awkward there. Marner won't be back. And if they're able to pull off a deal with Vegas, they have till midnight tonight to do that.
And that would send Waugh.
Nick Roy, yeah. So that would address some things. So they could go Matthews, Tavares, Roy, and then I think they try to upgrade the 4-hole.
Pierre, they bring in Waugh. He's got a lot of grit, right?
He's sandpaper. He's a sandpaper player.
Guy.
Yeah.
You see who they picked up today too?
No.
From Utah, Maselli.
Oh, did they get my favorite? See, that's my most Matthias Maselli.
Is he kind of same type? He's a sandpaper guy or what?
Well, he's a more offense. He's a really smart hockey sense player. He's a really smart hockey sense player.
Okay. I know you've liked him for a while.
That's a good pickup. So he's not going to replace Marner. Okay. He's not getting 100, but that guy has the hockey sense to play with top end players. So look, is he going to do what Marner does? He's not. He's not as good a player. But hockey sense-wise, he can really figure the game out. That's a good pickup, Jimmy.
I like it too.
What did it cost him to get him?
Let me see. I believe it was a 3rd-round pick. And correct. 3rd rounder in 2027.
Perfect.
So they don't even.
That's some slick.
Yeah,
that's some slick stuff right there. That's a good work. That's one of those under the radar moves. That's a good one, Jimmy. Good for you.
And
that's good.
Gary, those are the type of moves, when they talk about sort of reshaping the roster on the peripheral, those are those under the radar moves that can really help you later on.
Do you remember last year when Anthony Stolarz went to Toronto, what I said? Yep. I said the best free agent signing that nobody will talk about is Anthony Stolarz, because he's coming there dirt cheap. Mm-hmm. He's coming off a Stanley Cup. He learned a lot from Bobrovsky. He learned a lot from Luongo, and he is a battler. And he played major junior hockey, even though he's from Edison, New Jersey. There's so much that went, and I was like, wow, that's really smart management. That's good pro scouting. That's a great job by those guys. And it turned out he was pretty good. Yep. This is big news you're telling me, Jimmy. I didn't know this.
It just happened in the last hour and a half. So
okay, so there you go. That's great. Good job, Jimmy. Really good.
And so, and the other one I wanted to talk about too quickly, where was it? Oh, just some of the deals that went over at the. Oh, by the way, today before I move on to the weekend and some of the trades, Kasperi Kapanen signs 1.3.
1 year. I knew that one. 1 year, 1.5 million.
You know what? He seemed to find his niche. Like he's finally seemed to find a home. The way he played with Edmonton, especially in the playoffs. So that's a good depth.
Yes and no. There's a lot to like because of the speed package. The speed package is really good, and they're an up-tempo team. There's no question. For Edmonton, it's going to be interesting. Gullitson's going to Dallas as a head coach, and I heard they're trying to change portions of their coaching staff. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of style and system. I know Knobloch's a head coach, so he's got a big portion of it. But Gullickson was more of the tactical guy there. Mm-hmm. Koff was running the D with Mark Stewart, but Gullickson was a guy that ran that power play that at points this season was over 30%. Now, I don't think he's got the same kind of artillery in Dallas, so we'll see how that plays out. But, it's interesting, but can he help? I guess he can. Kapanen.
He's a depth guy. Yeah,
he's a depth player. Evander Kane's already gone. He's gone to Vancouver.
Arvidsson will be gone soon.
He'll be gone. I wonder what they'll do with Skinner. And it doesn't look like they're going to be able to come to terms with Corey Perry before the deadline tonight.
No.
So then he would go to market. Yep. And I mean, not that this matters, but Corey's a good player still. I heard he may go back to Dallas because he and Gullickson are tight.
Okay, yeah, they've already worked together for the last couple of years. Yep.
So
could you ever see him going full circle?
Who?
Could you ever see Corey Perry going full circle and adding some grit to a up and coming Anaheim team?
Why not?
I like that.
Why not? The only thing is, you do the tail of the
Up with the
tape.
speed.
Where's he fitting there? Who's he playing with?
Pull that up right now.
So, because you look at, he's not playing ahead of Killorn. He's not playing ahead of Kreider. He's not playing ahead of Troy Terry. Look at it, Jimmy. It's a hard fit for him. I don't know where he fits on that roster.
Do they bring, well, he'd have to go. Two of their guys that they finished the season with on the fourth line, Lundstrom and Leeson, were not qualified. So they got
okay, so he fits there. He's not, and I don't think he's playing ahead of Colangelo. They like Colangelo.
No, they like Colangelo. You're right.
So, you look at
him on the line with Palin, could be a good gritty line.
And the power play.
Yep.
He could be on the second power play. Kreider will be on the first power play. He could. He could. I just, something tells me Dallas. I don't know why.
Okay. Over the weekend, the Detroit Red Wings went out and got John Gibson.
Yeah. He just has to stay healthy, Jimmy.
I was just going to say that. If he stays healthy, it's a great trade, but that's a big if. It's a very big if.
He's 31. I've known John a long time. He's 31. He's a gamer. He wants to play, but you just got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
He does. Mrazek is what Mrazek is. He's a backup goalie in the NHL.
Right.
And
And
Detroit,
I think he's the perfect complement to Dustel right now.
that's what you need.
Great
He'll
fit.
go out there, and I think too, Verbeek and Yzerman are so tight.
Mm-hmm.
There's a friendship there, and sometimes you try to help your friend, and they're not, one's in the East, one's in the West, so it's not going to affect much.
Yzerman actually said, Pierre, I heard him on getting interviewed during the second round of the draft on NHL Network. He said that this was something that dated back to prior to the trade deadline, but because Gibson was hurt at the time, they put it on hold. So,
yeah, that's what I mean. If Verbeek and Yzerman are to probably talk every day. It's kind of like Scotty and I talk every day. Even when I was coaching Hartford, coaching in Detroit, you talk every day. That you're friends. You've been in the bunker together. You've won together. So, yeah, no, that matters. Matters a lot.
And then what was the other? There was another move there, Pierre. Oh, well, we obviously talked about Dobson because that went down right before we came on the air.
Yep. Great move by Montreal. Great move by the Islanders. It's good for both teams. Islanders said once they heard $11 million, they said we're not doing this. You knew that. We knew that a while ago. And for them to get the 2 picks and the players they got, they're both good players. The 2 defensemen are good players.
Oh, today was the one, Pierre. Tarasenko goes to the Wild from the Red Wings for future considerations.
Because they're going to lose. Minnesota's going to lose Gustav Nyquist. They're going to lose Gus. Gus is going to be unrestricted, so that's why Tarasenko's going there.
Okay. Going back to the Canadiens now, the big thing that keeps gaining steam throughout the weekend and is really buzzing today, I'm sure you heard it, that they're interested
Jordan Kyrou.
Yeah. A lot of reports have a deal that would involve Mike Matheson. I know you like me. I don't think that's a good idea. I know you don't either, but you got to give to get. Where does Kyrou fit in? If he came to the Montreal Canadiens, where are you slotting him in?
So here's the way I would look at Kyrou. He's an OHL player, played for Sarnia. He was a really good player in Sarnia. Last 3 or 4 years for sure, he's been over 30 goals. Jimmy, if you could look that up. I know he's been over 30 goals the last 3 years, each of those years.
Yep.
And I think the 4th year, he didn't miss by much. I think he's like 26, 27, somewhere in there. So he's a pure offensive point producer.
You are correct. You nailed it right on the money, Pierre.
Okay.
He had 27 and 21, 22, 37, 22, 23, 31, 23, 24.
Yeah, I knew he had 3 straight 30s. I knew he had 3 straight 30 pluses. So, I mean, he's not playing ahead of Slavkovsky. He's not, because they're not. I don't see them breaking that line up. Maybe they do, but I'd be surprised. But where I could see him, you do it by committee. He plays on that second grouping.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know how they want to do it. Like, what do they want to do with line A?
Who, by the way, they're supposedly working to extend. Yeah. I mean,
I don't think I think you and I both agree. We like Alex Newhook, but not as a top 6 forward.
Agreed.
Okay. So
I think he's like your Swiss Army knife.
Emil Heinemann's gone now. So
Yep.
Jake Evans is going to need somebody on the left side. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So
You move Line down there.
What are they going to do with Armia?
Army is gone.
So there's another spot now. You got to start opening stuff up for the kids too. What are you doing with Owen Beck?
You give him a legit shot in camp. I think he has.
What are you doing with Luke Tuck?
Same thing. Gets a legit shot.
What are you doing with Jared Davidson?
Same.
Do you do anything with Barre Boulet?
God, he earned it, didn't he?
That's what I'm asking. So,
I mean, where's Kapanen? You know, is he your fourth line center? That's what Puckpedia has it listed.
Well,
now.
if you're gonna okay, I get it. Like Jake Evans, I think the world of Jake Evans, a player. Like, he's an amazing 7th round pick. But I also think part of why Jake Evans thrived is because the role that was created for him wasn't over what he could do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once the contract got signed and there was that pressure from his game went backwards.
Agreed.
Because he was expecting more from himself too. There's nothing wrong with that. I've seen that happen before. I'm not going to say the players' names, but guys that I coach, when they got more money, they were expecting it. Okay, now I got to do this.
Right.
But that wasn't what they got paid for. They were getting paid to be the same guy, but because he got more money, everybody's expecting something else. I don't know about Oliver Kapanen, but I mean, he had a heck of a year last year in Timrell, boy. He had one heck of a year. He was really good. So I don't know.
They're going to have one of the most interesting camps, Pierre, as we sit here and talk about
I think the Montreal Canadiens are a legitimate team for home ice next year in the playoffs. I think they have the best defense 1 through 10. Now we'll see what happens if they have to trade somebody. But I think they have and I said this to Tony. I said this to your friend and my friend Jeff Merrick the other day on his show, which was amazing, by the way. 5 hours.
I really enjoyed that.
Jimmy, 5 hours of unbelievable hockey discussion. He is so good at his job. But anyways, I mean, I think Montreal's got 1 through 10 on defense. They're the best defense in the league. They are.
Yeah.
Now, doesn't mean they're going to have the lowest goals against, even though I think their goalies are going to be good. And I think when Fowler's ready to take charge, they're going to be scary, man. I think Montreal's set up for a 7 to 10 year run here that's going to be awesome for the fans.
Wow. It is going to be interesting. But I think Kyrou would bring a lot there. But if they get Kyrou, my last question on that, Pierre, would be, does that kind of stop there, or they still look for a center?
You need a center. So you get Kyrou, that's fine. That's fine. But I know he was a plus player the last couple of years, but you look at some of his previous years, he was way down dash. Like I'm talking dash 20, dash 38, dash 40, that kind of stuff. He can't. I don't think he can be a centerman. I think he's a pure right winger. His speed is what really – his speed with the puck is it's off the charts. It's really fun to watch. And his shot's improved over time. It really has. But I still think they need a second center. Now, do they need to get – do they need – okay, let's do this. Okay, Ryan Strome is a first center right now in Anaheim. Leo Carlson's a second. Mason McTavish is a third. Ryan Paling's a fourth. Are they going to get a guy as good as Leo Carlson? No, because I think Leo Carlson's going to be like the new Sasha Barkov.
Yeah. So
they're not getting that guy. So you got to take a step back. So who do you think could be somebody that fits in that's not going to be a minus player, somebody that can create offense, somebody that makes a difference for your team? He doesn't have to play in the power play. Doesn't need to, because they got enough power play guys. Doesn't need that. So you got to find that guy.
Is that guy? See, here's the thing. I was going to say, is that guy Doc? But everybody's saying that Doc would be involved in a trade for Kyrou. So
if I was St. Louis, based on where they are, and you got to remember too,
they need centers, Pierre. Too.
They need centers after Robert Thomas. They need centers. I know that Alex Steen has taken over that team as a GM too, so he might see things a little different than Dougie Armstrong. Now, he hadn't done it yet, but I'm just saying he's gonna. But they're going to need centerman. What are they going to do with Oscar Sundqvist there?
I have a feeling he might be traded. Moved.
Well, see what I mean? So they definitely need centerman. Yeah. Snuggerud's not a center. Snuggerud's a winger.
Snuggerud's not a center. What do they have coming? Anything or?
Dvorsky's a really good player.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
To be a full timer?
I think he will be this year. I'm just going over it just off the top of my head.
You got Holloway. Don't forget Holloway. He's in the middle.
Yeah, but he's a winger too.
Yeah, he's a winger too.
No, I'm not forgetting Holloway. I'm not forgetting Broberg either. And neither is anybody.
I don't think you'll ever forget them, Pierre. I'm looking at it right here. Yeah. Yeah, Dvorsky would make sense if he can jump up.
Oh, he can. He's good. He's good.
Okay.
He's legit. He's a legit player.
A lot of different scenarios going on, Pierre. It's going to be interesting. I got a feeling too, just based on conversations I've had, Pierre, that we're going to see that wave tomorrow, and then there's going to be sort of this lull, and then some trades, right? As teams start to say, well, maybe what we need isn't in this list of free agents. Let's go to the trade market and see if we can do it there.
I think you're right. I thought there'd be more at the draft.
Yeah.
I thought there'd be more at the draft. I think part of it was the guys weren't there.
Remember I was saying that? There's
You
something
did.
about being there, yeah.
Absolutely, you said that.
People
So I think
underestimate
that was part of it.
Yep.
Guys weren't there.
By the way, Pierre,
Go
before
ahead.
the draft,
Go ahead.
do you think Gary Bettman's smirk has left his face yet?
I don't know.
Oh, was that an I told you so smirk, or was it ever? I mean, hey, we all live and learn, right, Pierre?
Live and learn, live and learn, live and learn.
All right. There you go with that. But yeah, I think that we're going to see a wave of signings, a little lull. And I think, when we come back for our first once a week, we might have some trades to talk about still.
There's going to be some mayhem, I do believe. Because I think I saw Mike Greer said this publicly, that there are a lot of teams that think they're close.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think Mike said. Something, I'm paraphrasing, but something along those lines. And you're going to see those teams that think they're close enough now, that they're going to get a little bit frisky. And I don't doubt that. I think there's something to that. How bad's Pittsburgh going to be next year?
They're going to be bad. Before you move on from Mike Greer, though, Pierre, I wanted to bring this up to you too, and we didn't even script it, is they are at 51.4 projected cap hit right now. So just shy of 20 million south of the floor.
Yeah, they'll take on a couple bad contracts.
Yeah.
I think.
Hi, this is Kent, Mike. Carey Price, you want it?
They'll take on a couple bad contracts. That's not hard to do.
Yeah.
They might do that with Vegas. And I can tell you right now, Vegas.
I love what you're thinking.
Or
Florida.
I have no
Florida.
Or Florida. I have no problem telling you this. And I know this show is always about positive stuff and everything else. Vegas and San Jose do not like each other. And it's been a long time. And it starts at levels above the ice surface. They just don't like each other.
Yep.
I'm telling you. And so I don't know if they want to help one another.
They won't. But they'll help some teams for sure.
Florida's a great call by you.
Yeah. That's who should call Mike Greer.
Florida's a great
we're trying to sign Brad here. Can you help us out? And then boom.
Yeah, I wouldn't even bring that up. I'd say, hey, got a couple deals here. You'd be interested, and we'll give you, one of our. I would imagine there's a prospect. I feel comfortable telling you this.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine there's a prospect that Florida has. I'm not going to say his name. It's not appropriate, but they would know very well because people that are involved with that staff have recruited and worked with that player over time. And I wouldn't be surprised if what you're saying, based on what I'm listening to, maybe happens.
Mm-hmm.
So they can get all three of those. Bennett's already back. Ekblad's back. So they can keep Marchand. And we're getting word from our great producer, Shane, that Evan Bouchard goes 4 times 10.5.
Wow. I'm sorry, Pierre. That and maybe we got to get used to it. Maybe I'm old fashioned, but 10.5 for Evan Bouchard is too much.
I would have done the contract that Montreal did with Dobson.
Yep.
Here, we'll give you 8.
We'll give you 8.
He's kind of betting on himself here too, but he's kind of betting on himself here too. By the way,
yeah. And you know what? If you kind of tie it into the whole thing with their meeting with McDavid last year, I mean last week. That's
he wanted to get Bouchard. Yeah, you have to. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if now you see McDavid say, "Okay, I'm coming back."
All right, let's figure it out. But I don't think it's going to be 8 years or anything, Pierre.
No,
McDavid. He's going to do a show me, tell me. Let's
do it. So let's say he does 4 years.
4. Yep. 4 times.
Same as Bouchard.
What are you giving him? 4 times whatever the hell he wants.
4,
he is Connor McDavid.
So I would look at
14?
14 probably. I mean, you have no choice with him. Yeah. He's at the pinnacle. He's at another. That's why, everybody keeps talking about Mitchell Marner. Mitchell Marner's not anywhere close to Connor McDavid. No. Not even in the same. He's not close to Nathan McKinnon, okay? Let's call it the way it is. He's a really good player. He is. Yep. But he's not anywhere near those two guys.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. If you were Florida, would you trade Sasha Barkov 1-for-1 for Mitchell Marner?
No. Never.
No. You would not.
Nope. Not in a heartbeat. Not going to happen. All right, Pierre, let's talk about our sponsor and get over to this Q&A because there's a lot there. What do we got here? Betway, as always. I haven't checked it yet. I apologize. I will check it as I speak. You can still go all the way with Betway and get up to $200 back on your first bet, even if your first bet loses. So go right there to the QR code in front of you or to the details section on the website to create your new account and redeem your welcome offer. This offer is not available in Ontario. Terms and conditions apply. You must be 18 plus and always bet responsibly. Obviously, I don't have a bet or a pick to give you right now. And I don't see as of yet that they're giving you any odds or props on where players land up in free agency. I know they did it last year, so maybe it will be updated by tonight. Circle back tonight and check that out, or even in the morning when you wake up. Free agency kicks off at noon, so they still got a little time to update that. We'll see if they do, but there's tons of baseball there. There's a lot of soccer. I wasn't even aware of this this Club World Cup that FIFA is doing in anticipation of the actual World Cup next year. They've got U.S. teams and European club teams, Saudi Arabian teams competing right now. Some really good soccer going on across the United States. You can bet on that as well. Of course, UFC. So get over to Betway right now and have some fun. But again, always bet responsibly. All right, let's go to the Q&A. What do we got? Bill Van Vagel. Hey, guys, was it just me or was the NHL draft awful to watch? Glitchy Zoom meetings, Bruins, awkward, cringy video interviews, and way too long. Bettman was actually a highlight. I hope the NHL fixes it. Bill, I agree with you. I thought Bettman was great. I thought it started off great with the whole Matthew Schaefer and what had happened with his mom and, how emotional he got. And then you're right. It went to awkward after that. So look, one thing I want to say, and I'm not saying that it couldn't have been better, but I do think, Pierre, don't be so quick to blame the NHL. As we said earlier, this was on the GMs. They voted to have it this way, not the league. The league just did what they were told. Hopefully they go back to the regular way next year, but this is not, in my opinion, on the NHL.
Yeah, I agree with Jimmy. And look, I didn't watch any of the draft because I was working. We did a 5-hour show.
By the way, Pierre, it was so great because it was great. I could turn the picks up when they'd make them, and I turned them down. I watched you and Jeff, and you guys were so great with the guests you brought on. It wasn't just big name guests or popular guys. These are junior coaches, people that know these players for a long time, and you really got into the nitty gritty of the picks, which I loved. Which no offense to ESPN here in the States, but I don't know, time constraints, maybe they can't do that, but they didn't do any of that, and that's what I loved about you guys.
Well, you're very kind to say that, but I can say I didn't watch any of the draft, but I've never had my phone blow up so much.
You told me.
Then what? Like I was working, and so at the end of the night, and then I had to go do it. When I was done with Jeff, I had to go do a CBS television hit. So I did that, and I got done around 1 o'clock, I think, 12:45. And all of a sudden, I turned my phone on, Jimmy, and it was like,
Oh yeah.
So I was like, wow, I wonder if Marner got moved or something.
Yeah.
And then it was just,
well, let's not forget a crazy
complaining.
What about the Sidney Crosby rumor that
that
took
was
off
a bunch of
bat out of
malarkey.
hell?
Oh my gosh, that was so. Didn't you send that to me before I went on? And I said,
this
come
is
on,
not
stop
gonna
the
end well.
nonsense.
I'm not going to name names, but the person that put it out there was like, this is not going to end well for him, Pierre.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
And then the agent came right out and denied it. Like literally within minutes, the agent was out there sending it to a reporter saying, you get this out there right now.
Yeah, that's no good. That was no good. Anyways, we move on.
Let's move on. What do we got? Mike, if the Habs do acquire Kyrou, do you think he is the piece that can move the needle? I still think we lack grit and toughness. I guess that can be added in the bottom six. Great points, Mike.
They're all good points, but I would say this. The Canadiens showed me a lot last year after the first game with Washington. They did. They showed me a lot because that's a hard team to play against. I'm not so worried about the grit and the toughness. They need to get better and more mature physically for a lot of those players. But I think a lot of that can be addressed in free agency later on. Those are easier players to get. You just have to be smart with how you do it.
All right. Next question. Narig Hevidas. I hope I pronounced the name right. I know the Habs are looking for sandpaper and depth forwards. Your thoughts on either Justin Brazeau, who's a UFA, or Mikey Eyssimont being good fits for the Habs bottom six?
I'm surprised that Tampa didn't keep Eyssimont.
Me too.
He played with a lot of jam down there. He played with a lot of jam in Winnipeg too. I think he became a little bit of a fan favorite there in Tampa too. Brazeau, I worry about the speed quotient, Jimmy. I don't know how you feel about that, but Eyssimont can skate. He can really skate.
Yeah, Brazeau, definitely the speed is an issue, Pierre, and I think he's a good fourth line player. I think he can contribute, but I think the problem with Brazeau is they look at his size. They think he's that guy that can park right in front and is going to rack up goals. It's just not him. It's just not.
I just worry about the speed quotient with the way Montreal plays. I just don't know if he fits on that team.
I'm with you.
You know, I don't think Pat Maroon could have played for Montreal.
No, that's a great example.
But Pat Maroon could play for Chicago. He could play for St. Louis. He could play for New Jersey. He could play in Tampa. I don't think he could play in Montreal.
All right, next question. Is Brandon Tanev a guy that Canadians can target in free agency?
But I would definitely be on him, but I think he's already done something with Winnipeg, hasn't he?
I don't think so yet, Pierre. Actually,
if he hasn't, then I'd be all over him.
I'm pretty sure I was eyeing his name the other day. Still a UFA. Nothing done yet.
I'd be on him. I would be all over him. I'm a big fan. National champion of Providence. Think the world of that kid. I think so much of him. I've had nothing but positive interaction with him. Love the way he plays. He's a tough, nasty piece of business, a great penalty killer. Doesn't mind playing 8 to 12 minutes. That guy would be fitting right on my team.
Perfect example of what the questionnaire was asking there. All right, let's go. What do we got? Big Bill, Jimmy and Pierre, what do you think is going to happen with Armia and Dvorak? Who will they sign with? I don't know, Big Bill, but it's not going to be the Montreal.
No, I think Dvorak's going to get some love, though. And one of the places I think he'll get it is in Chicago. Mm-hmm. He's from Chicago. They need some depth centermen.
Okay.
Need a guy that can go there and not cause trouble. He's that guy. He showed a lot. I was really impressed by him the second half of the year with Montreal. So I could see Chicago giving him. As far as Armia goes, I don't really know. I don't know.
You know who else? And we'll get right back to the question in a second here, but I'll do a question from Jimmy in the Jimmy in the Village here. And we know his agent well. Adam Gaudette does not have a contract yet, Pierre, and he had a great year in Ottawa.
Yeah, I'm surprised Ottawa didn't do something with him. He went there and played really well. And the Vancouver tie-in with Travis Green and Nolan Baumgartner was huge.
Right.
That was a big reason why he thrived there. He'll get some. Adam's going to get some.
He is, yeah. I thought he had a great year. All right, next question. Alex Ivanowski, I can't believe the Penguins passed on Jackson Smith. I thought they would be all over him. I'm with you, Alex. I'm stunned they passed on him given their needs. Now the Blue Jackets have him. Did it surprise you what they did? I thought the Penguins for sure were going to take him there, Pierre. I really did.
Especially because he's going to Penn State.
Right?
I was all okay. I thought he was going. I said it to Jeff, and then he goes to Columbus, and I was like, "Good for them." He's
I
Jackson
love, I love everything Columbus is doing.
I have no problem saying this. Without a doubt, Schaefer was the number 1 D in this draft. It wasn't even close. He's the number 1
by a mile.
I thought Jackson Smith was number 2 in the draft.
Yep.
I thought he was the second best defenseman. Now, Mertka went to Buffalo before him. So that's fine. No, it's fine. He's a big, lanky guy. There's going to be, a future for
him. I got
him.
a lot of those now, Pierre?
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just thought that Jackson Smith was the second best D.
Yep.
That's all. He would have looked good in Pittsburgh. I don't think they're overwhelmed with a lot of defensive depth.
And keep an eye on Columbus. That's all I'm going to tell you. All right, next question. Kevin McClafferty, wondering what your guys' thoughts are on the Islanders draft, specifically Eklund and
I love it. So Eklund is an instigator. He's a guy that can really skate and create a lot of stuff off the forecheck. He forces a lot of turnovers. His brother plays for San Jose. I can tell you right now, when I was in Ottawa, we were going to take Eklund, but they snuck in. Give San Jose credit. They took him just before our pick when I was in Ottawa. So I'm a big fan of Eklund. Atchison, actually, I should say, he can really shoot the puck. He really scored over 20 goals last year in the Ontario League. He plays for the Barrie Colts. They're changing a little bit of their coaching staff. And Patty Sexton, who coached in Oshawa last year, he's going to be coaching the defense in Barrie this year, and that's going to help Aitchison a lot. So he'll be more ready. The biggest thing about him, Jimmy, he knows how to play against. He's a nasty piece of business. He's a nasty piece of business.
And it's great. He's great at those old school open ice hits, huh?
He's that, and he's good at chirping guys. He's into that too. So,
nice.
Yeah. I think the Islanders did really well. In fact, on CBS, I feel totally comfortable saying this. On CBS, they asked me, you got to give a winner and a loser. And I said, I'll never give a loser because I'll never do that to scouts. I'll talk about teams that need to do more. And I gave a list of 5, but I said there was one clear winner. Anybody that got Matthew Schaefer won. And the Islanders got Matthew Schaefer. And then you compound that with Eklund and you compound that with Aitchison. And, yeah, the Islanders did really well.
Maybe it was you and Jeff. Somebody I remember saying in the long run, because we all know, I mean, it's common knowledge, and then they even admitted it after, that they were going hard to position themselves to take Higgins.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
In the long run, Pierre, there's a very good chance that ends up being a blessing in disguise, that they end up getting 3 for 1 or 3 for 2. I guess it would have been 2, but they end up getting an extra good player out of that first round than they would have.
Yeah, no, it could. A lot of it depends on whether Eklund can turn out. He's not overly large, so he's going to have to get to work. There's some work that he has to do. He's going back to Djurgården, which is good. Djurgården's a good program, and they've moved out of the Allsvenskan back into the SHL, which is even better.
Yeah.
That's going to help. So, yeah, no, I mean, it's good. The Islanders, I still think did really well.
I think they did really well, all things considered. All right, next question. Brad K. Pierre, was a leadership turnover at the Hockey Hall of Fame meeting discussed while you were there?
That was done a long time ago.
Yeah,
they
all knew that beforehand.
We knew that a while ago. So, yeah, no, that was done. Lanny was great.
You guys have a nice dinner to send them off?
Yeah, we always do. Yeah, nice. It's always good. Lanny is an amazing man. I have so much respect for him. And like he said to me, he goes, I'm going off the grid, so you'll have a hard time reaching me.
He deserves it, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. Ronnie Francis is going to do a great job taking over with Mike Gardner and both of them. So, yeah, no, it's good. The Hockey Hall of Fame is an amazing thing, and what an amazing class we have going in this
Really
coming
was.
December. What a great class.
Yep.
Led by Jumbo Joe Thornton.
Yeah, I loved it.
Big Z and Joe, they must have loved it in Boston. You got two Bruins going in.
Yeah, just missed each other. There in
Yeah,
Boston.
they did.
You know, it's funny. I recently ran into Joe's brother, Pierre. You know, his brother used to bartend in Boston.
So his brother, is that the professor?
character.
The one that's the professor that teaches at
Yeah,
university?
yeah.
I spent the night with him in Pittsburgh during the San Jose Pittsburgh Stanley Cup final. It was an off day the next day. I learned a lot about a lot of different things.
He's an interesting cat, man, for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Full fum. Hi guys, can Boone Jenner help Montreal until Hayes shows
Oh
up?
gosh, yes.
Of course, but does Columbus?
Why
want
would
him
they be in a rush to move? They're about to take a big step. I would. Yes, the answer is Boone Jenner would help any team.
Yep, he would give them a boon.
Yeah.
Next question. John Smith, how long before the power shift happens in the West? Teams loading up on blue chippers. Future looks bright in San Jose and Anaheim. I would say Pierre, Anaheim's way more there than San Jose, but he's right. San Jose is really shaping up nicely now.
Yeah, don't sleep on Minnesota either.
Oh.
Don't sleep on Minnesota. They got a good plan going. Don't sleep on Minnesota.
With you on that. All right, next question. TG, Pierre, as of now, the Islanders have 2 first-round picks in the 26th draft. Do you think if Lee and Pajot have good seasons, they can end up with 2 more first-round picks? Meaning, I guess they move them at the deadline, maybe?
Yes, the answer is yes.
Great thinking, TG.
Yeah, I agree. I love that take, too. I don't know if they'd be in a rush to trade Anders because he's an Islander pick. He's a kind of a captain guy. Well, he's a captain.
Yeah.
And he's a proud guy, and I think they really like him. He does a lot there on Long Island. He does a lot for cancer and things like that. But Pajot's, he's an Islander, yes, but he's not an Islander, if you know what I mean, Jimmy. So I could see him getting him. He'd have to have a big year, though. He'd have to have a big year to get a first rounder. I think he's more like a second rounder. Anders could be a first rounder.
All right, next question. What do we got? Ethan Russell. What's up, Ethan? Good going back and forth with you the other day on X. Turn that off. I apologize. Ethan wants to know, who do you see the Bruins targeting as their second line right wing? Thoughts on the geeky term? I absolutely love the geeky contract, Pierre. That's one thing we didn't talk about earlier.
Yeah.
Good for both sides. I don't know about you.
I don't know. Good for both sides. I like the player, too.
Yeah.
Now, he's going to have to do a lot to prove that he wasn't a one-hit wonder, but I like the player and I like the contract.
Yeah. I think in that, Don Sweeney takes a lot of bullets around here, and I've criticized, but I mean, I got to give it credit where it's due.
Yes.
Good find by him and good signing.
Agreed.
All right, next question. Oh, and the right wing, by the way, I don't know yet, Ethan. Good question. Get back to me on that. Marco Larebe with Geeky signed. Is Zaka on the market? I heard his name all weekend. Pierre.
I've heard his name since the trade deadline.
Yeah, since the deadline. Since the deadline, he's been out there. I know Pasta loves him. But I don't know. For whatever reason, he continues to be out there. I don't know what's going to happen there. I haven't heard if there's any bites yet. All right, next question. Murray McDonald, the Habs are $3 million over the cap. What's next for them to do? Do they move Line 8, the Carey Price contract, or roster players on the move? I think
they'll be. Yeah, I think the Carey Price contract gets moved, and I think there'll be players moved to get a second center or another forward.
All right. Next question. Gabriel Lamb. Hey, guys, it's been a while. If Gavin McKenna goes to Penn State, will they be favorites to win the national title?
That doesn't always equate that way. It doesn't always work. Like, they got Jackson Stone coming on defense, too. But I know that this past weekend, McKenna was at Michigan State and Penn State, so he did the Big Ten tour. Both programs are really good. Just because you get the best guy doesn't mean you're always going to win. Jack Eichel never won a national championship at BU. Jimmy, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. Hey, Ryan Leonard, Gabe Perreault, and James Higgins were all on the same line at BC, and they got beat by Northeastern in the Hockey East quarterfinals. It doesn't work that way in college hockey. It does. Could it help them? Yeah, it'll help them. But
Yeah.
does it guarantee anything? No, it doesn't.
And the other thing too, Pierre, not that I think he's going to struggle at all, but it will be a bit of an adjustment to college hockey.
This
Okay,
year,
that's not a knock on Gavin at all. I'm not trying to knock him off.
No. I've talked to coaches on both sides of the ledger, the college coaches and the junior coaches, and everybody agrees with what you just said.
Okay.
This is going to be a very interesting moment for hockey on both sides of the border.
Right.
Because junior hockey's really good, but a lot of those really good players are
They're young.
16, 17,
Still
18.
growing.
When you get they'll see too.
Oh yeah.
I'm reading all these press
And-
releases. Oh, we got this guy drafted. These are these colleges. We got that guy drafted. And how are you going to explain to those NHL teams when those kids come and they're sitting in the stands next year for half the games because they don't play, because they're not good enough and they're not tough enough? How are you going to explain that?
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. All right, next question. Vendetta, do you guys see Kuznetsov joining Russian teammate Tarasenko in Minnesota? I don't think he fits in with what Minnesota's doing.
So I think what the person is alluding to is Kuznetsov, Tarasenko, and Panarin were aligned at the World Junior in 2011.
So there's chemistry from before.
Canada got beat in the third period. Those guys just crushed Canada. It was crazy. Do I see that happening? It could, but I don't know.
We'll see. It's a good idea, though. It's
a healthy thought.
Yeah.
Plus, they have Kaprizov there. It's a healthy thought. I don't know.
All right. Next question. Sound the siren. What's up, man? Hey, guys. Carolina re-signed Juha Jaska. I don't think that's moving the needle. Do you?
You know what? You still need players.
You need depth guys.
Yeah. One of the things I said yesterday or 2 days ago on CBS is that Carolina is one of the teams that needs to do a lot to catch up, and I haven't seen them do anything yet. They got to get going here. Edmonton was one of the teams I said. Ottawa was one of the teams I said. Toronto was one of the teams. Now, this is before all this Toronto stuff happened. Now that they got Nyes and Tavares done, they've done stuff. So now they come off the list. Carolina is one of the 5 teams I had that they needed to get going, and they haven't done anything yet.
All right. Next question. How much is it going to cost the Habs to move Price's contract to get under the cap?
Probably a good prospect.
Yep.
Probably a good prospect.
Ethan Russell saying that Merkulov just signed with the Bruins. Did he with the Bruins, Ethan, or no? I don't know.
Well, it'd have to be with the Bruins.
Yeah, I thought I read somewhere that he said he was moving on or something. But I don't. Yeah, it has to be with the Bruins. All right. And there's another Bruins question there. Somebody asked about Korpisalo, Pierre. DiPietro signed an extension with the Bruins. Does this mean that Korpisalo could be on the way out? I think, Chad, that's a great question because, interestingly enough, it's a one-way contract for DiPietro.
Hey, Jimmy, I'm going to let you take over this one. What did I say last year?
That they will be looking to trade this guy within a year.
That is what I said to you.
And here we are a year later. And
Jimmy,
voila.
I am shocked that they did what they did last summer.
Does anyone take him, Pierre?
Boston going to have to eat some of the money.
Dry goalie market.
You're going to have to.
I think he has a better
You have
chance.
to eat some of the money.
Okay. Let me ask you this: is and I'll tell you right now, my answer to this question is no. But I want your opinion. Is he better than Skinner?
No.
So for all the people coming at me, I'm just going to save you the breath. I don't think Edmonton goes after him. I don't. I think it would be a bad move if they.
Well, if they eat some of the money, they might bring him as a backup because they may move Skinner.
Backup, yeah, and then
they may move Skinner and keep Pickard. I don't know what the like. I think they were shocked when Gibson went to Detroit. I think they were taken aback.
Yep, I think that was the guy. All right, next question. Jimmy and Pierre, with Jacob Pelletier not being qualified, do you see a team taking a bite on him? Yes, I do. I don't know who. You too, Pierre? Yeah.
Yeah, I think somebody will take a run at him. I just wish he was a little bigger, obviously.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Jeremy Martin, who do you think the Habs would have taken in the draft if they never did the Dobson deal? Oh, it's 16 and 17. Well, you felt like you might get that guy Nesbitt if he had been there, but
yeah, I thought Nesbitt. I said Nesbitt, and he went, and Philly took him.
Philly traded up to get him.
Get him. Big, nasty centerman from Windsor. Really mean. I like those players. He's a tough kid. Yeah, a guy like that. Something like that.
Okay, next question. Mike, not sure if it's been asked. What are your thoughts on LJ Mooney? It always comes down to the player, but do you think he has the potential to be an NHL regular?
So this is a really gifted kid out of Pittsburgh, Jimmy. Going to Minnesota. Very undersized, but electrifying with the puck. He can do a lot. Depends on the role that they create for him. Is he going to be an NHLer in 2 years? No. But can he be down the road? Maybe. He's a fun player to watch, Jimmy. He's a really fun. I just wish he was bigger.
Okay. Sorry, Pierre. I just got a note here on Martian. Yeah. Pierre, one thing I want to say, too, I want to ask you, but I got that note interrupt me. How did Penn State not get him? Right in their backyard.
Stuff happens. Guys want to go different places.
Okay.
I mean, there's a pretty good centerman that plays for the Utah Mammoth that's right from Pittsburgh. Ray Shiro used to be his babysitter. And he went to Minnesota, too, with Matthew Nice.
There you go.
Stuff happens.
All right, next question. Anthony Rusinello, I hope I pronounced it right. Devils have been awfully quiet. Is there a big change coming? Fitz did say they're not coming back with the same group. Anthony, I don't know. I would say big. It depends how we define big, but I do think Fitz is going to make a move.
Well, Jake Allen's going to market.
He's going to market.
So there's going to be a change there. They got to figure out what they're going to do with some of their guys in the back end, and they got to figure out what they're going to do up front with their bottom six.
It's great that you said that on the back end, Pierre, because if I'm not mistaken, Dougie Hamilton.
There's plenty of time left on that contract.
There is, but I think, yes. Oh, no, it's already in. So his no movement just went from a no movement, full no movement clause is now a modified 10-team trade list. So they have more options when it comes to Dougie Hamilton. I would keep an eye on that. All right, next question. Eric Telfer. Question for Pierre. Do you see Joe Veleno signing with the Habs? Side question. Did the exceptional status hurt or help Veleno? That's a good question, Eric.
I think it hurt him. He's never been able to gain any traction. By the way, that gentleman that just sent that in, his children are fantastic hockey players, and they've both committed to your alma mater, University of Massachusetts at Amherst.
Congratulations, Eric.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if Montreal signs him or not, but if they do, I mean, I could see him maybe being on a high-end two-way where he gets sent down to Laval. But he's a Montreal kid, so I think it's a tough one. I don't think Joe ever had a fighting chance, and I think part of it's what Eric just said, you know.
I think we're seeing right now Mitch Marner
to Vegas. It's done.
Jimmy,
I'm going to have to let you go here.
That's fine, my friend. I got to wrap it up.
Because of the Marner thing. I just got a thing.
Me too. And I got something going with Marchand here that I might have to write real quick. So
okay. So
we apologize to everyone. Save your questions. We will tomorrow.
Please.
Don't worry. We're going to be here and we're going to just react to all the signings tomorrow. Really looking forward to it. Pierre, you have a wonderful night. Big thanks to Shane working the boards. Thanks to everyone out there for your questions and everyone listening and watching. We'll be back here on Free Agent Day tomorrow on the Eye Test on the Sick Podcast Network.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Eye Test with Pierre McGuire and Jimmy Murphy on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.